We first see police officers inside an unmarked vehicle passing through an area. At that very moment, a group of women can be seen running away from something. It turns out they were running away from the police as we see the officers pressure the women by the shop. They seem to be telling the women to get inside the building, but this seemed a bit too harsh. On this video, the officer behind the wheel decided to risk civilian lives with their reckless driving. The officer was swerving in traffic on one of the busiest roads in South Africa. The officer continued with his circus show, and it came to a climax when they damaged another vehicle on the road. They were extremely lucky, as this might have turned deadly in seconds. They did not even bother to stop after causing that accident. The officer behind the wheel might have been intoxicated on the job. This seems to be a recurring character in this video, as shown on the following clips. The reckless driving continued. The police vehicle kept switching lanes every second, confusing other motorists on the road. The following video is even more reckless, as the officer could not control his anger. We first see the community arguing with the cop, as there seemed to be some sort of a disagreement. The officer comes out of the vehicle holding his firearm. Things were now escalating really quickly. The officer decided to fire his gun on the ground, but his mannerisms reflected more of a gangster than an actual police officer. The man decided to walk away from the situation without arresting anyone at the scene. He might have been the wrong party here, since his fellow officers left him to follow the vehicle on foot without assisting the man in any way. In many countries, once an officer discharges a weapon, they have to report why the weapon was discharged, and the situation can be assessed if it was necessary to discharge such a deadly weapon. This traffic officer decided to drink on the job. He was now struggling to balance inside the shop while being filmed by these astonished civilians. The man who was supposed to be enforcing traffic rules was now struggling to walk. He definitely does not deserve that uniform. He continued to walk forward towards the chair as he tried to gain his composure. The man was now seated as he tried to understand how he got to this point. On to the next video, where these traffic cops got the surprise of their life while on this afternoon shift. We first see a vehicle and a couple of motorbikes going past the officers at high speed. The traffic cops decided to chase the motorist, but they were not ready for what they were about to encounter. They finally caught up to the biker, and to their surprise, it was one of their own speeding on the road. The officer was even resisting arrest, as he might have thought he was above the law, but these officers were not taking none of it.
What we experienced is another officer, a law enforcer, who was resisting arrest from another law enforcer, which is, it's not acceptable. It was a colonel from SAPS, and we arrested him.
7 motorcyclists were caught exceeding speeds of 171 kilometers per hour, while another man was clocking at 207 kilometers per hour.
So you can imagine if a vehicle that is driving at 207 and then a pedestrian comes in the road, that person won't stop. That would be a fatal accident. So we're trying to make sure that we reduce accidents in the province and to make sure that Gauteng is still a safe and secure province.
This officer was in another dimension as he tried to balance himself with the pole. We can see school children teasing the man as he had no idea where he was or what planet he was on. To do this in uniform is beyond disgraceful. This is a terrible example for the kids around, as this is supposed to be someone representing the nation. These 2 officers have been caught up in a corruption scandal, and the Hawks decided to pay them a visit. They were now in handcuffs as they pretended to have forgotten how to walk. This was due to how disgraceful this situation had become for them. Another officer caught intoxicated on the job. The man was behind the wheel in this condition, showing how reckless these officers get. He had a whole pack of alcohol inside the vehicle. The man had turned the police vehicle into his mini mobile bar. Moments before this, the officer had nearly caused a road accident due to his reckless driving while intoxicated. We then see his colleague trying to assist him towards the vehicle, but the man was not done with his circus show. He kept struggling to enter the vehicle in this condition.
You shouldn't be driving because you're under the influence of alcohol. I've been asking them to test you, they've refused. That's why this will be posted on YouTube and Facebook. We asked for you to be tested. We asked for you to be tested. They refused us.
The officer could not even put together a simple sentence in this condition, let alone fighting the crime ravaging the nation of South Africa. This officer decided to try his luck with a taxi driver, but things did not go as he expected. The man decided to assault the driver after a disagreement, but the driver had other plans in mind. It was now a fist fight with the trained man of the force making a fool of himself on camera. They should definitely change roles with the taxi driver, looking more capable of protecting the nation. They finally came back to their feet, but the officer was beyond rocked by this encounter. Next time he will definitely be more professional in his approach.